Bait. Of all of them, if he had truma in their mouths, Rabbi Eliezer says they may swallow it. Rabbi Yeshua says they must spit it out. And if they said to him, "You have become unclean," or the truma has become unclean, Rabbi Eliezer says he may swallow it. But Rabbi Yeshua says he must spit it out. You were unclean, or the truma was unclean, or it became known that it was tevel, or was ma'aser rishon from which truma had not been taken, or ma'aser sheni or hektish that had not been redeemed, or he tasted the taste of a bug in his mouth. He must spit it out. If one was eating a cluster of grapes and he enters from the garden into the courtyard, Rav Eliezer says he may finish it, but Rav Yeshua says he may not finish it. And if it becomes dark on the eve of Shabbos, Rav Eliezer says he may finish it, and Rav Yeshua says he may not finish it. If truma wine was found uncovered, it must be poured away, and needless to say, if it is chulin. These three liquids are forbidden if they remain uncovered: water, wine, milk, but all the liquids are permitted. How long must they remain so to become forbidden? The time it takes for a reptile to come from a nearby place and drink.
Okay. Shiur Hamayim Hamagulin. Okay. So how much water would is the minimum for it to become for it to be aser because of Giloi? Or עד שתאבד בהם המרה. And כדי שתאבד בהם המרה, so that the mara being the poison, if there was a poison note, so actually what's the maximum amount of water that's actually affected? So if you've got an entire pond which is left open, or even like let's say groundwater doesn't get affected by my Magurin, but let's say you had a giant, a big reservoir which is above ground, and that was left uncovered. You don't have to worry about my good in there because any poison is in there that's in there is going to become so dilute that it will
Right.
not not have any effect. By the way, that was a bad term. It's not poison, it's venom. Snakes have venom. Um, right. Him. Um, okay. So however much that amount what the mission is really telling us is that there is a maximum. That if it's um, okay.
40 saw, right?
Huh?
40 saw,
You see
right.
40
At
Um,
the end.
yeah, yeah. Rabbi Yossi Omer, B'kelim kol shehen. If it's small vessels, then any amount. U'v'karkaos arbim sa'ah. So as soon as it reaches 40 sa'ah in the ground, then there's no. So that's what happens to be the same shear as a mikveh. Okay. Nikure ta'enim. Now, what happens if you've got figs that have been pierced? And you think, oh, maybe that was a creature that bit into that. And if it was a creature that bit into that, perhaps it was a venomous creature, and that left some venom inside the fruit. Um,
There, there balloons flying? It's
Balloon.
just balloons blowing up in the air, yeah.
Oh, are you looking out the window?
No,
Maybe.
no, look, it's straight at you. Yeah, strange. Maybe
Hmm.
the back window, I don't know.
Oh, so the Zoom has got these gestures. I've
Oh,
never worked out what gesture it is that makes the balloons fly.
it's funny.
I didn't notice because I don't have my own picture on the screen. I just have you. So
I was looking at the window out and back behind you, so
that's a nice view. That's a very nice view.
yeah.
Nikure ta'enim, or over anavim, or grapes, or kishuin, or cucumbers, diluin, or goods.
Or
Avatichim, melons, melafofonos. Wait, hang on. What's just the kishuim are the um, kishuim? What we call them today are kishuim are the I've forgotten zucchini. All right. Um,
oh, is that what they mean by muskmelons? Zucchini?
Muskmelon, melaphophon. No, so melaphophonus is what we call cucumbers now. So
Ah,
Hebrew Hebrew and Mishnaic Hebrew are not always the same. Okay. Afilu haim kikar. Even if they are as big as a kikar, and a kikar is 60 money. We're
right.
talking big fruit, like a watermelon, right? A big watermelon.
Mhm.
Okay. Echad gadol, echad katan, echad talosh, echad mechubayin. It makes no difference whether the fruits are big or small, or whether they're attached to the ground or not. Kol sheyesh bo lecha asur. If it has, if the fruit is still fresh, if it's still got juice in it, it is prohibited. Because of the danger inherent that there might be some venom inside it. Okay. Um, Asur. Unashurchas hanachash asura. Also, if you know that an animal was bitten by a snake, even though it's walking around and you managed to get a shechita knife to it and you shechted it, you're still not allowed to eat it. Mipnei sakanas nefashos. Again, this is danger to life. We don't mess around with that, and you cannot have anything that was bitten by the snake. I think again, if you're looking at actual science of what's going on inside an animal when it gets bitten, it's a very very small amount of venom that goes into it, and it's already diluted inside the animal, and going through your digestive system is probably unlikely to hurt at all. But nonetheless, Chazal were dealing with the science that they had at the time, and this is the best. And once if the scientists are telling them this is dangerous, then they're going to rule accordingly. Okay. Ha mashmeres shel yain asur mishum giloi. Okay, so the mashmeres is the strainer where you pour your wine over the strainer to get the dregs out, and it goes into the barrel. But let's say you leave it over the barrel.
Mhm.
Um, Okay. So now that obviously that mashmeres is porous because it lets the wine through. Now you walked away and left it exposed with the mashmeres covering the barrel. But the Mishnah says asura mishum giloi. Says the Tanna Kama that is not considered covered. Okay. Rabbi Nechemia Matir he says, no creature is going to be able to
Right.
get through the thing. Okay. Um, Yeah, right. So the concern of the Tanakama is that maybe the snake went crawled on top of the mashmeris and started sticking its mouth into the dregs that were on top, and Toch Kadei spilled some venom into the wine that went through below. Okay, that's three
Okay,
Mishnayos.
we're back to Hey Gimel.
Yeah.
If a saw of clean truma fell into 100 of unclean chulin, it is neutralized and should be eaten in small cakes or roasted or kneaded with fruit juice or divided among pieces of dough so that in no single place should there be an egg's bulk. If a saw of unclean truma fell into 100 saws of clean truma, the Beit Shammai forbids it, but Beit Hillel permits. Said Beit Hillel to Beit Shammai, since the clean is forbidden to non-priests and the unclean is forbidden to priests, then just as the clean is canceled, so too should the unclean be canceled. Beit Shammai said to them, no, if chulin, which is treated leniently and is forbidden to non-priests, annuls the clean, should truma, which is treated stringently and is forbidden to non-priests, annul the unclean. After they admitted, Reb Eliezer said, truma must be taken and burnt, but the Chachamim said it is lost because of its small quantity. If a saw of truma fell into a household, well, that's good. If a saw of truma fell into 100 and he lifted it out and fell into another place, Reb Eliezer says it renders meduma, as does definite truma, but the sages say it renders meduma only proportionately. Okay.
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 Please, hey base.
Um, anyway. If one buries law in the ground in the seventh year, Rav Meir says it may not be less than two saws, 3 handbreadths in height and 1 handbreadth of earth over it. But the Chachamim say it may not be less than 4 kavs, 1 handbreadth in height and 1 handbreadth of earth over it, and he must bury it in the ground trodden by people. If loft remained during the seventh year, Rav Elias says, and also Rav Yossi, if the poor gathered its leave, they have gathered. But if not, he must make accounts with the poor. Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Yossi say, if the poor gathered its leave, they have gathered. But if not, the poor have no claim on it. And a loaf of the sixth year, which remained until the seventh year, as also summer onions and dyer's matter from choice soil. Right Shammai says they may be uprooted with wooden rakes, but Reis Hill says with metal spades. But they agree that dyer's matter of the sides may be uprooted with metal spades.
Okay. Brachas.
Okay. Daled Zion. Rav Eliezer ben Nazariah states that the Musaf Tefillah is only recited with the city congregation. They can come and say with or without the city congregation. Rav Yudah says in his name, wherever there is a local congregation, the individual playing alone is exempt from reciting the Musaf Tefillah. One should only stand up to recite the tefillah in a reverent mood. The pious men of earlier times would first wait an hour and then recite the tefillah so as to direct their minds to the all present. Even if a king were to greet him, he may not return the greeting. Even if a snake were to be curled on his feet, he may not break off. And we mentioned the power of the rains and who revives the dead, and ask for the rains and the blessing of the seasons. And Havdalah, you favor man with knowledge. Rabbi Akiva says one recites it as an independent blessing, and Eliezer says in the thanksgiving. Okay.
Okay.
And then Olio. Okay, test your Gil. If the hive is sitting on its bottom and it is a utensil and there is tuma below, inside, or above the hive, tuma penetrates upward and downward. If a hide is a handbreadth above the ground or it is covered and it is upside down, there is tuma below, inside, or above the hive, everything becomes tame. In what case is this applied? When the hive is a utensil. However, if the hive was broken and stuffed with straw, or if it contains 40 saw, according to the sages, there is tuma below, inside or above the hive, tuma penetrates upward and downward. Reb Eliezer and Reb Shimon say tuma does not enter the hive, and does not descend from it. If the hive is a handbreadth above the ground and there is tuma underneath it, what is underneath becomes tame. If the tuma is inside or above, utensils directly above the tuma up to the sky become tame. A crypt that is wide at the bottom and narrow on top contains a corpse. Someone who touches the lower part remains tahor, whereas someone who touches the upper part remains tame. If the crypt is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom, someone who touches any part of it becomes tame. And if the crypt is the same width from top to bottom, someone who touches any part of it becomes tame. And these are the words of Reb Eliezer. But Yeshua says, someone who touches from a handbreadth and below remains tahor, from a handbreadth and above remains tame. If the crypt is made similar to a chest, someone who touches anywhere on the sides becomes tame. It is made like a gluskos. Someone who touches it anywhere remains tahor, except for the place where it opens. Okay. And we're going to finish. No, we're not. We're not going to finish it. We have a second. Okay.
Correct. Okay.
And
Elias.
okay, Zion. They testified about the boards of professional bakers on which loaves of bread are shaped. They are susceptible to becoming tamei for Reb Eliezer Ruzim Tahor. They testified about an oven that someone cut into sections and put sand between one nut section and the other, and it's susceptible to becoming tamei because Reb Eliezer rules a tahor. They testified that we may intercalculate a month into the year during the entire Adar, because the sages used to say until Purim. They testified that we may intercalculate a month into the year conditionally, and a story happened with Reb Gamaliel that he went to obtain authorization from the governor in Syria and was delayed in coming back, and they intercalculated a month into the year with the stipulation that Rabbi Gamaliel would approve it, and upon his return he declared, I approve, and it turned out that it became a leap year. Menachem ben Signai testified concerning the supplement of the cauldron of olive boilers that is capable of becoming tummy, while that of dyers is tahor, because they used to say that the reverse is true. Okay. One more? That's it.
Wait, no, one more.
Good Gedda testified concerning a deaf mute girl whose father gave her in marriage and she may be divorced with a get. And he also testified concerning a minor, the daughter of Yisrael, who married a Kohen, that she may eat truma, and if she dies, her husband inherits her. If he testified concerning a stolen beam that a thief built into a mansion, that he gives its value. And he testified concerning a stolen Coptis offering unknown to the public, that it atones for the benefit of the altar. Okay. And
Hagiga, Aleph Daled.
Okay. Yisraelim discharge their obligation with vow offerings, gift offerings, or the animal tithes. And Kohanim fulfill their obligation with sin offerings, guilt offerings, firstborn of animals, and the breast of the thigh of Shalamin, but not with the fowl offerings or with kneel offerings. One who has many that eat but few possessions, to bring many shalom Shalman and few olos. One who has many possessions, a few should bring many olos and few shalaman. If both possessions are edis, are few. Concerning this, it is said 1 silver for 2 silver miles. If both possessions and edis are many, concerning this, it is said every man according to his hands giving, according to the blessing Hashem your God has given you. And one who did not offer the Chagiga on the first Yom Tov of the festival may offer the Chagiga throughout the festival on the last Yom Tov of the festival. If the festival passed and he did not offer Chagiga, it is no longer his responsibility. Concerning this, it is said, a twisted thing cannot be made straight, and what is not there cannot be numbered. Okay.
Okay, and we are
I have a
done.
note, I have a note here, I don't know, from you. Shalom. There. It said, but not with on dollar, with not with foul offerings, no, with meal offerings, but at the mincha. I wrote mincha here for some reason. I guess the mincha service or
Mishna Dalad. Yisrael Yotzin Yedei Chovas and the Darim and the Davos, but the Master Behim, Bekonim, Bechatos, Bashamos, Bechor, Bechaze, Bashok. What's your note on?
it just says mincha. I just wrote mincha there. It says meal offerings. Oh, I know what it is. Mincha is a meal offering. That's why
Yeah,
I wrote
meal
it down.
offering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sababa.
Have a great Shabbos.
You
Enjoy.
too, Shabbos. See you.
Okay. Be well. Thank you. Thank you.